Hey everyone, welcome back to Average Joe Preparedness. My name is Rick and I'm an Average Joe. Today we'll be going over a couple of topics. The main one, which is something that comes up in the prepper world once in a while, are rules for preppers. Or if you're not doing this, you're not a prepper. You have to do this to be a prepper. So that came up again. We'll talk about that. And then we'll probably finish off with inevitability. But first, we're gonna just touch on a couple quick topics real quick about current events. Now, for the record, and I'll say this all the time, because of Newspeak, I am not a prepper. That's right, preppers are bad, remember? So this channel is about preparedness, and it'll only fall within the guidelines set by the party or the government or whatever. So everything we do will be approved. Yes? So stay out of trouble, guys. Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. Now, a moment of the cave. I did a video about the allegory of the cave and how these people were telling these people. So, pretty funny, I think. But with the new government, now don't get me wrong, you know, according to Newspeak, the party is always right. So just ask the party or the government or party. We'll go with party. How does that sound? Because parties change sometimes, but they're always right. And I'm never going to question them. I'm always going to say that they're right. So anyways, when it comes to the presidential executive orders, now, this is not to say who's right, who's wrong, who's good, who's bad. And we're not even going to talk about the executive orders themselves and whether they're constitutional and all that good kind of stuff. Who cares? If the party says they can be done, then the party is right. But remember not that long ago when these people were having these people tell these people that executive orders were terrible? I actually think the current president, last year, he said that if you have to use executive orders, that's legislation through executive orders. Only dictators do that. I believe that. It's pretty close to the quote. But then, what's he on? It's been a couple of weeks and he's on like 50 or 40 something. Anyways, but these people are telling these people to tell these people that it's okay now. Yes? Because the party's always right. And then one more, I think it's kind of funny again. Because I don't really watch a lot of news. I just get what I need to and then I just walk away because it's just crazy. And besides, no matter what, the party's always right. But the new press secretary, she is different than the old one, and everybody's different. That's fantastic. But I noticed in the comments, and I usually go and look at the comments, the stories can be what the stories are going to be. You know what I'm saying? But I like to look at the comments because I like to keep my finger on the pulse of what people are thinking. Because then I can predict things. I can, you can too, but that helps me predict things so that I know which course to take in what I'm planning on doing. But anyways, so I'm reading the comments and people are saying that, man, this is so great, this new press secretary. She's so honest. And I'm glad we don't have to put up with that mean one that had a binder with all the answers. Now we're getting honest answers. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I was like, well, this is, nifty. So I actually checked it out. I actually turned on one of her briefings and I've done it twice now. And on the first one, when they're like, yeah, she's on, she wasn't answering any questions at all. She didn't answer questions. She said something like, I'm going to circle back, I'm going to come back to it. It was very funny. Then, and she has no answers, which I was like, this is what you want from before. I mean, the lady with the binder, she had all the answers. She had facts and numbers and dates and everything. And I thought that was kind of nifty, but what do I know? But then I saw it again for just like a couple. She actually kind of now has a little bit of a binder. And then I remember all those people saying, well, yeah, she doesn't have a binder. And then I just thought it was hilarious. And she still doesn't have the answers. But the party's always right. All right, that's my attempt at levity. I have to laugh or you cry. You know, it's laugh and try to make light or just get way too serious. So, Okay, main subject is rules for being a prepper. And I've seen one or two lately, but I think it was like a year ago or something. There was a whole bunch. And please, I'm not trying to call anybody out. That's not what I do. I try not to disagree or say someone's right or say someone's wrong. That's not the way of it. The way I see it, there's like 350 million people in the United States, 7 billion plus, I don't know if we're 8 yet in the world. So you cannot be right for everyone. Everybody has their own thing. I don't know you. I don't know where you are. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what you're doing. There's no way I can say, if you're not doing this, then you're not a prepper. Oh, by the way, we're not preppers, but because newspeak. So let's just say hypothetically, we were pretending to be preppers. How does that sound? Excellent. So, I mean, who am I to say, if you're doing this, then you're not a prepper, or if you're not doing, these are the rules, and I was like, okay, I mean, that's cool and all. So I thought about it for a little bit, and I think I came up with some that we could basically all agree on. So I think we can agree on the first one, and that is, if you have a mindset, if you've decided that there is something you need to be ready for, that you need to be prepared for, that you need to get a little preparedness in your life, then that's probably a rule. You probably need that to be a prepper, or to be prepared, or have that preparedness mindset. And I don't think we're going out of control on this one. Even the federal government says that, I mean, if you go, there's websites that say you should be prepared for certain things. So as for, if you don't own this thing, and there's nothing really there, if you don't own that, you're not a prepper. I would recommend not letting these things dissuade you. Don't go, well, I don't have that, or I disagree, so I guess I'm just going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not sure those are good ideas. So having that mindset, having thought that I need to be ready for something, and whatever it is, again, I don't know where you live. If you're living somewhere that hurricanes or tornadoes or earthquakes or floods or ice storms, you see there's so many different variants as to where people are in the situations that they're in, that to say, if you have this thing over here, you're not a prepper. Well, again, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but come on, guys. I can see that dissuading people. I can see that maybe putting out people's fire. And I try never to put out somebody's fire if they're motivated about doing something. And I think, and I've mentioned it before, that we should all have a preparedness mindset, that we should be taking care of ourselves, or looking at things that could happen and trying to find counters for those. Yes? And then a second basic guideline, and these aren't, I mean, I'm not going to say these are rules, but another guideline to being prepared, or having preps, or being a prepper, or whatever words you want to use, is self-accountability and self-responsibility. And I say that because if you're just dependent on the government, if you think the government's going to save you and you don't need to do anything, then you're not practicing it. So by definition, if you think you need to be taking care of yourself, that's self-responsibility, and you need to be accountable to yourself whether you succeed or fail. That's self-accountability, self-responsibility. Does that make sense? So I couldn't think of, I mean, people were having these rules. It was like 10 rules for yes and 10 rules for no, and all I could do is come up with like those 2, I think. And that is to have the mindset that you need to, the realization that you need to be ready for something. And whether that's making sure that you have a spare tire, in your car, or making sure that you have enough gas to get it. I mean, it starts off really small and can build and build, which it should. And then again, the self-accountability and being self-responsible, because by definition, that's what that is. So if you see anything else out there, I mean, if you disagree, you can comment below, but I don't want to, and the reason, again, I'm not calling anybody out, but the reason I wouldn't really put like the top 10 things yes or top 10 things no is because I don't want to put out anybody's fire. And I mentioned it before, the more people that are responsible, the more people that are prepared for things, I think, the better. And this is going to be a short video. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. And so I'm going to finish on a thought, and that is inevitability. The first thing that comes to mind is what is it? Avengers with the bad guys. I am inevitable. And it doesn't work. But anyways, if you watch the news and if you believe things are going in a different direction and you like it this way or you don't like it that way, but that's fine. If you're happy, I have no issue with it. But if you have concerns, which I have a few, but let's talk about the inevitability. I'm not sure people realize how inevitable what is going to happen is. And I know that that's actually by the definition. If it's going to happen, it was inevitable. Yes? That's not what I'm talking about. I see a lot of people wasting energy and being negative and being drawn in, sucked into being negative, which is a bad idea. We've talked about that. In fighting what is inevitable. Okay, what's going to happen is going to happen. I see a lot of people, we need to do X and we need to do Y. And no, please understand, you are not going to stop this. And now, I ran into this a lot because I work logistics, which is math plus taking in the human component. So it's not just math. That's the one thing about logistics that sometimes people don't get is you can't just add stuff up. You have to put the human element in there, and that's why some people are good and some people maybe not so good at doing logistics. I happen to be really good about it. And there were a few issues I run into when I found and went to my supervisors or leadership and said, this is not going to happen. The failure is inevitable. And I'll tell you about that. The main pushback I would get was, well, it's going to fail because you say it's going to fail, because you're not positive, because you're not going to. No. I never did not give 100%. Even if I thought it was going to fail, I still gave 100%. Maybe even, I mean, you can't give more than 100%. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, I would, because I wanted there to be no excuse, especially on my part, as to why it didn't happen. You know, except that I gave you these reasons why, and you didn't listen to me. So I am not omnipotent. You know, I cannot control the world. So me just saying it's inevitable, you can't look at me and say, well, that's because you and your attitude, that's what, no. All right, I can't stop a speeding train. It doesn't matter what my attitude is. I cannot jump in front of a train and stop it. I'm not Superman. Does that make sense? Well, if we get a team together and we do it, you can line 100 people up in front of a train. All you're getting is squished. You see what I'm saying? You're not stopping it. You have to understand what is inevitable. So what is coming is inevitable. It's not, you're not going to stop it. So, but what you can do is prepare for it. What you can do is set yourself up for success. Does that make sense? And that's what these videos are about. And no matter what it is, I guess, because things are always going to break. You know, weather eventually is going to be bad. We're trying to look at some light things, you know, some things that people aren't going to argue about. The economy is going to go up and down in employment, and these things are all, see what I'm saying? They're going to happen. Maybe some worse things. That's up to you, you know, as to what you're preparing for or what you think's going to happen. But if you watch the news, there are things that are trending in this direction for some reason. I don't understand why people can't see them, or they think, well, it's a good thing, but they're not looking at secondary, tertiary. These things are going to happen. So my recommendation is get yourself ready. Yes? And we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again. First question usually is, okay, well, what do I do? Let's say you're right, Rick, and you know, I think this bad thing's going to happen. And it really doesn't matter what the bad thing is. Follow me on this. What do I do? The very first thing I want to tell you is get your mind in order. The second thing I want to tell you is get your finances in order. The third thing is get your house in order. And I mean that figuratively and literally on all three of those things. Get your mindset. You know, stop being angry about what's going on. You're not stopping it and you're not changing it. Okay? It's like screaming at the wind or yelling at the waves or whatever some saying like that. You're not going to change it. Stop being angry. Be happy, you know? Be positive. Helps you think. Done videos on that. Second thing is get your finances in order. Being dependent doesn't make you any prepared. So no. Live within your means. I've done videos on it. We'll do them again if you guys want. Comments down below. But live within your means. Live less than what your means are, so you can pay off all your bills, become debt-free, build up a savings, get supplies, whatever it is, whether it's something simple as making sure you have a spare tire and being able to afford it, or making sure you have gas in your car, you need money for these things, getting your house in order, minor repairs. Again, we're gonna keep them small that people can't argue about, like a refrigerator going out or something. You need to have your finances in order. And then third is when I say get your house in order. And I mean, maybe the people around you, or maybe actually the house itself, the house, okay? Clean it up, fix it up, get it ready. When was the last time you had somebody come out and look at your garage door? Preventive maintenance. When was the last time you changed out the filter on your HVAC? When was the last time you cleaned out your garbage disposal? When was the last time you cleaned out your washing machine? I mean, really cleaned it out. The drain, you see what I'm saying? There's maintenance that needs to be done. Get your house in order. And that's going to prevent things, so that way you can concentrate on bigger things. And financially, that's going to keep you from spending money, which helps you, pay off your bills, and it's just less stress. So get your mind in order, get your finances in order, get your house in order. All right, I promised myself I'd keep this one short. Hopefully, yes, we'll see when I edit it. But all right, it's commercial time. The only way to support this channel, if you find anything useful, if you go back and watch any of my videos, you find them interesting, if you want me to keep doing this, I'll probably do it anyways. It's kind of like what do they call that? They call it like a vlog or blog or vlog, whatever. I just do it once in a while. Hopefully I'm helping somebody out there, but it helps me keep my mind focused. But anyways, the only way to support it at this time, and that's probably going to be for a while, is subscribe, like, comment, bell, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Thumbs up. If you guys want to say something. If you guys want to send me an email, if you don't want to comment down below, down in the comment section or description section, there's an email there. You guys can shoot me an email if you'd like. Like I said, share, like, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's the way. That's a commercial. Yes?